Hello and congratulations on getting access to this video course on Facebook Ad Basics. This is, of course, video number 1, which is the introduction. So here's the goal. This course intends to simplify things so that you can get your Facebook ads up and running easily. Now, before we jump in and talk about how to set things up, you want to make sure that you are in the right mindset. I'm going to dive more into this in video number 2, but for now, let's briefly touch base. You see, in order to succeed at Facebook ads, you must be willing to have patience. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is paid traffic requires a certain type of patience and understanding that your first campaigns and your first several $100s is most likely not going to convert into leads. That may be the case if you're doing something easy like local ads. But if you're doing something like nationwide or even worldwide ads and you're targeting everybody in a specific niche, let's say, for example, scuba diving, then that can be very, very hard to do. It's not necessarily really hard, but imagine you're competing with a lot more people. If you're only competing with local businesses, it's going to be a lot easier. All right. So bear that in mind. And if you're okay with that, then Facebook ads is a really, really good platform to be able to target people in a very specific manner. So you can target them all the way down to their relationship status, to their gender, to their likes, and all that. All right. That's why Facebook is so powerful compared to a lot of other paid traffic sources. That's not necessarily to say Facebook ads is better, but you get what I'm saying. Now, you also need to do a few things before you set up your ads as well. For example, demographic research, getting an idea of who your audience is. Now, what this means is that you're not going to be profitable right out of the gate. So don't expect that. Don't expect that. Have a budget in mind, whether it's $500, whether it's $1,000, and don't expect that you're going to be profitable immediately. You see, with Facebook, what you're trying to do is you're investing that money to figure out who is actually interested in your product. You're going to figure out the text that you use, which text is the winning text, which image is working well, and when you're able to get the right data on that, you will be able to use the right creative ad to target the right person. And we'll discuss more about this proper mindset in video number 2. But for now, let's cover what's inside this course. So here's a quick overview of what's inside this course. Video number 1, of course, is this video. Video number 2 is the mindset of Facebook paid traffic. Video number 3, we'll talk about who are you targeting, because that's very important. You can't just set up an ad and... Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2, and this is all about the paid traffic mindset. So this is very important because if you don't make this switch in your mind, then running Facebook ads is going to be painful, it's going to be tough, and it's really not going to make a lot of sense. In fact, this is the reason why most people just quit Facebook ads. And it wasn't until we started running tens of thousands of dollars of Facebook ads that we realized that this was very crucial. Obviously, the technical aspects are crucial as well, but this is a big piece of the puzzle. And if you can't get past this and you can't have this type of mindset, you're most likely going to say, okay, this doesn't work, and leave. And your competitor is going to come in and win. So to better understand what kind of mindset you need to be in, what I want to do right now is to give you a comparison so that you can understand the differences between different types of paid traffic. So we have Google Ads, which we're referring to where you go to google.com and you type in a search keyword term, and then you see the ad at the very top. So as you know, Google has many different types of ads. They have YouTube ads, they have Google display banner ads, We're not talking about any of that. We're just talking about the search ads. So if you think about it, the type of person that is going to Google.com, they're searching for a very specific thing. So if they're typing in scuba diving equipment, they are looking specifically for that. And with that in mind, you're able to put certain products that they want right in front of them. Now, the big difference between that and Facebook ads is that with Facebook, people are not searching for anything. They are there to socialize with their friends, their family, or their acquaintances, right? So the difference is that. Now, because of that, and because somebody is not really searching for a very specific item, you need to be aware that you really have some warming up to do, meaning they're not going to buy right away. Sometimes they'll buy right away, and sometimes it will take a few days to maybe even a week, depending on the product you're selling and where they are in the stage of buying. They could be not even aware that that product exists, or they may be aware that the product exists, but they're looking at your competitors, perhaps. So that's why Facebook ads is so different. Now, bear in mind that Facebook ads is very powerful because it allows you to target people, not only males and females, ages, and different interests. And in order for somebody to get into a specific interest, they will have to have visited certain pages related to that interest. So keep in mind, Facebook is very different than Google Ads. So now that you understand kind of how things are run and that you're not going to get results right away on Facebook, depending on what you sell. That in mind, you need to have an idea of what you are selling. So when it comes to local versus online, and what I mean by that is if you are, let's say, a plumber and you're trying to get leads to your plumbing company or your accounting company or your massage therapy company, if you're local, it's a lot easier because all you have to do is simply target a specific radius, zip code, and go at it. You don't really need to do a ton of market research and all that. Now, you do need to kind of get an idea of who you're targeting, but it's a lot easier than online. Now, what do I mean by online? Because we're online now. What I mean by online is you are targeting nationwide. So let's say, for example, that you're targeting a specific niche, like scuba diving. All right, so you're going to be competing with all the hundreds or even thousands of other people out there who are making ads on that niche. Versus with local, you might be only competing with one or two or possibly even no one else, right? So that's why before you can get into Facebook ads, you have to have an idea of what your strategy is, what you're promoting, and all of that. Okay, so this is where the mindset comes in. Is when you run Facebook ads, a lot of people think that, okay, if I invest $1, I'm going to get $1 back. And you'll see a lot of Facebook ad courses advertise that. But what you don't realize is that there's a lot of testing involved before you can get to that point. All right, especially if you're doing nationwide. If you're doing local, you got it easy and you could do everything demographic research, go straight to setting up a ad campaign and target radius. It's just that easy. But for the majority of you who are probably advertising a niche or a specific area, you're going to be doing nationwide. So you could be targeting USA, you could be targeting United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, or a specific country worldwide or in a different area. And if you are doing that, you're going to have a lot of competition. All right. So a lot of people think, okay, they run an ad, they invest $100 or even $500, and they get nothing back. So if you're doing nationwide and you get to that point, then a lot of people become frustrated and they quit. So That's why I really want to dial down into the mindset of paid traffic, that you need to buy data first. So you might have heard this before, but basically, if you run an ad or several ads, then what you're really trying to do first is to buy data. What that means is you have to be willing to put $500, $1,000, or even a couple grand to buy data. And buy data means that Facebook is so big that they have so many different interests, they have so many different types of people that you need to figure out where your customers are located within Facebook. And to do that, you have to run a couple campaigns first and foremost, look at the data, see what's actually working, see who is clicking your ads. And what's nice about Facebook is they give you a really good breakdown. So you can see who's clicking your ads, what age group, the text that you're using. Let's say you're using 3 different texts and 3 different images. You can test and see which images, which text, which headline, which description, and which sales copy is getting the most clicks. So based on that data, you can then create another ad and then go out. So that's why it's very simple, but very important, because if you don't have this mindset switch, then you'll be like everybody else. You invest $500 or even $1,000. You don't get anything, you don't get any results, and you quit. And you wonder why other people are out there running ads like your competitors and getting leads. So that's simple. I'm going to leave it like that. And with that said, let's move on to the next video. Assume, okay, this is going to work for everybody kind of thing. Video number 4, we're going to talk about Facebook Audience Insights, which is a free tool that Facebook gives you access to, and it allows you to dig a lot deeper. Video number 5 will take all that information that we've researched in the prior videos, and we'll create a avatar profile, which is essentially what your customer is going to look like. Are they male? Are they female? Are they a certain age? Are they in a certain area? And of course, once you figure that out, that's a big crucial piece of the puzzle. We need to go over important ad rules in video number 6. You see, if you don't follow Facebook's rules, it's an easy and surefire way to get banned, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure that you understand what Facebook wants, what Facebook does not want, what Facebook sees as offensive, and all that. And believe it or not, it may not really be obvious. So that's why we need to cover these rules. Video number 7, we'll talk about the pixel, which is basically the tracking code that Facebook uses, why it's important, how you can create it, and all of that. And video number 8, we'll talk about ad campaigns. And video number 9, we'll talk about ad sets. And of course, video number 10, we'll talk about ads. So as you can see, video number 7, 8, and 9 is the technical aspect, but all the videos before that prepare you for that. All right, so getting started, you're going to need the following. You're going to need, obviously, a Facebook ad account. You will need a landing page, something that you're going to be promoting. And of course, you're going to need to have your creatives, like your text, your headlines, your images, and all that. So with that said, let's move on to video number 2.